Greetings, life management students. Welcome to module number 4. We're going to talk about motivation, which we all need sometimes, right? So let's jump into talking about what to do when we're not motivated, some things that can help us to stay on track and be motivated. All right, first thing to do is keep in mind what motivates you, what things are connected to motivation. And we come up with these 3 key components, right? The first one being self-efficacy, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that means. Self-efficacy, a little bit different than self-esteem. We'll talk about relevance, right? Is your goal relevant to you? Because that's the way we stay motivated. And then we'll talk about your attitude. There's a really big difference in people who have a positive attitude and those who are kind of always moaning about things, right? So let's look at that. So self-efficacy, what is it? It's this belief that you have in your ability to achieve or carry out what you need to do to achieve your goal. It's the belief you can do it. So it's really this self-belief, belief in yourself that you can accomplish the goal. Doesn't mean that you can become a millionaire or you can become a movie star, right? We want your goals to be realistic for you, but you can achieve your goals. That's what's really important. So this strong self-belief, or what we call self-efficacy, increases our chance of accomplishing our goals. Simple as that. The more we believe in ourselves, the more we succeed. That's it, right? When you can prove to yourself that you're making progress. That's really what this self-efficacy is, right? So if you have a goal, like your goal is to maybe finish the first semester of college or get an A in your first ever college course, then your self-efficacy is when you are turning in your assignments and you are taking your exams and you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're improving your self-efficacy because you're proving to yourself that you're making progress to achieving the A in your first ever college class. And that's self-efficacy. Okay? So how do we strengthen it? How do we feel better about ourselves or have more belief in ourselves? First of all, we're going to look at people who have done it. Observe people who are successful. And so this modeling behavior, right? Modeling is the practice of watching others complete a task successfully. So when you choose either friends or when you choose people that you look up to or aspire to, you're choosing people typically because we see something that we like in them. We see some positive outcomes, we see they've been successful, and we figure out, wow, I saw them do that. I want to do that also. I want to be like them, right? Seek support and encouragement. This is something students don't do enough. Sometimes students have a belief that your instructors or your faculty members, like we're way over here and you're over there, and we're not supposed to really interact a whole lot. But that's wrong. My goal as your instructor is to teach. Right, is to help you to understand the information and to grow from that information. And so really you should be seeking out my support, especially if you are successful in this course and then you end up coming to the college that I work at, Delta College, and taking more classes. You can reach out to me even though I'm not your instructor anymore. It doesn't mean I can't help you in some ways. So reach out to not just instructors, but other people that can be encouraging to you and supportive of you. Turning stress into a motivator. We're all going to encounter stress, right? So this is what you need to remember. Stress is a part of life. It is something that we are going to have to learn to manage. We can't really say that we're going to lead a stress-free life because it just really won't happen. So we're all going to have it. The question is, how do you deal with it in a healthy way? We'll talk more about that when we talk about stress management, but I want you to understand first that stress is normal, right? We can expect it in our life, right? So making something relevant to us, right? This feeling that achieving a goal makes a positive difference. So in other words, your goals should be aligned with things that are important to you, making things relevant. Looking here at Malala, She has an amazing story. If you're not familiar with her story, it's really incredible. As a young person, she was an advocate for women's education, or girls being able to be educated. And at some point where she was, that right was taken away. And she really spoke out against that. And she was actually shot twice, I believe, and left kind of on the side of the road for dead. And she survived that shooting through multiple surgeries and recovery. And she then, as this amazing young person, continues to take the microphone and advocate and have a voice for places where girls are not able to get an education. And so if you click here below, you're going to see a little Ellen kind of interviewing Malala and hearing her story. And so again, when you think of her goals were relevant to her, because she was living somewhere where she couldn't get an education. And so she became passionate and motivated to help bring awareness to this problem. Right? So make your goals relevant. Oops, sorry.
Really
I'll let you
so
look at that on your own time. Right, so again, keeping things relevant here, find things that are interesting in each of your classes. So sometimes when I was in college, I had to take classes that didn't interest me. Geology, the study of rocks, didn't really interest me. But I had to do it in order for me to get the degree, which was going to help me to make a living or earn money, right? So find something interesting in every class. Even if the topic, maybe like rocks, are not interesting to you, maybe you meet people in the class that are. And so you start liking going to class because you get to talk to people, right? Or make relationships there, right? Connect your coursework to your long-term goals. Again, when I was taking classes I didn't really enjoy, I would tell myself, it's my end goal. This is going to help me get to my end goal, which is a bachelor's degree or a degree that makes me or helps me to get money. So I can have a family, so I can live the lifestyle I want to live. Right? So help make those connections. Build transferable skills. What we mean there is I want you to learn skills in college that will help you in your job. Makes sense. We're all going to have to work, really. And so transferable skills mean people skills, communication skills, time management, organization. These are skills that are needed to be successful in college. However, they're also really important in the work setting. So building those and focus on learning, right? Learning about things you like and care about. If an assignment seems irrelevant to you, you think, why do I have to write this goals paper for life management, right? Try to connect the assignment to something that is relevant to you. So for instance, instead of kind of being afraid of this goals paper that we're going to write in this class, start thinking of it as a time for you to process and reflect and think, okay, when I think of my future, what can I think about? What is important to me? And you're going to learn more about yourself in writing those goals down. Having a positive attitude. This is so important. People like positive people. And when I was an employer and I would hire people, this could be the tipping point. When I would meet interviewees who had a positive attitude, they were go-getters, they were enthusiastic about learning, they didn't have a chip on their shoulder. In other words, they were teachable. They admitted that maybe they didn't know everything, but they wanted to learn and they had a good attitude about that. I wanted to hire those people. So a positive attitude makes you more resilient in the face of difficulties. So what this means is, it doesn't mean you won't face difficulties, you will. It means that when you encounter challenges or barriers, that you realize, okay, this is a tough one. However, I know that I'll get through it. Don't know how, but I will. Right? Positive attitude helps you learn from your mistakes so we can grow. Increases your enjoyment when you succeed, when you have a good attitude and you even make small steps towards your goals. It's like exciting, right? Because your attitude is, this is just another stepping stone. I'm doing great. Having a positive attitude is a powerful motivator that can keep you organized and focused on your goals. Energize. It gives you the energy to continue even when they're long-term goals. And it seems like this is going to take forever. Having that positive attitude will give you the energy and the kind of focus as far as not going off to the side, but staying on that plan to achieve those goals. Right? Positive attitude. All right. So again, continuing here, just kind of talking about continuing to have a positive attitude, and click on the little video, and it's a really cute video that again demonstrates how important this positive attitude can be. And your self-talk, right? Monitoring that self-talk. Self-talk is when you say to yourself things like, I stink. I can't do anything right. My goodness, I'm too stupid to write this paper. That's negative self-talk. You're talking down to yourself. And you don't want to do that because your words are so powerful. We talked about last time. Your words are powerful. And so when you say things like, man, this is hard, but I know I'm going to get through it. You're speaking positive words, right? I know I can do this. Yeah, it is. Maybe sometimes I'm really challenged. Maybe I feel like I'm not as smart as other people. I know that by studying, I can get it, right? I was one of those students. Did you ever meet those people in school that were like, they really wouldn't even study for a test? Then they show up and they get like an awesome grade. And you're like, I poured over my notes for like 3 hours and I come out with this C+, B-, right? It's frustrating. I'm one of those people. Being smart didn't come naturally. I had to work at it. I had to really study to earn the grades that I earned. And so that's just the way it is for some of us, right? But having that positive attitude helps us to understand that we will get it. Oh, sorry again. I'll let you look at that. It's super cute later. All right, internal motivation. So let's talk about, there's a couple different ways we can be motivated. Think of it as being motivated inside and being motivated outside. So motivation is having the energy to accomplish your goal. It's having the energy to achieve or meet your goal. And there's two different types. The first one is what we call this intrinsic motivation. Think of the word intrinsic and think of IN, and IN stands for inside. So inside. So what happens is this motivation comes from or stems from your inner desire to achieve a specific outcome. It means you really want it. You really want it. So for instance, I'm a lifelong learner. I love learning. I do. And so even though I have achieved a doctorate degree, which is considered the highest level of education you can go, I still take classes and I still am a student because I love to grow. Now, it's not going to really help me in the sense that my job's not going to pay me more because I take more classes, but I'm motivated intrinsically. It comes from inside of me versus what we call extrinsic motivation. And extrinsic motivation comes from things outside. So think of, what if my job said to me, you know what, if you take these 3 classes and earn a certificate here, we will increase your salary by $3 an hour. Now, if I take those 3 classes, I may be motivated extrinsically because what's happened is there's a reward. Or let's say you live at home and your parent or guardian says to you, okay, you know what? You can live here rent-free as long as you go to college, right? Go to college and I'll let you stay here rent-free. Now you're motivated possibly to go to college from extrinsic factors, outside factors, right? So, you know, both of them. So when we talk about this kind of intrinsic motivation, it's usually more reliable because we control it. When you want to do something, we tend to do it. When we want to, when we desire to do that, right? And so the more you know about yourself, like the more you know about what things do motivate me inside, what things do I really want to accomplish, that helps you. All right, so think of visualization as a motivator. We're talking about motivation. So when we think of athletes, we think of visualization. So here, a Harvard study, researchers discovered that students who visualize in advance of an anticipated task performed with nearly 100% accuracy, right? When tested compared to those who didn't visualize and received only 55% accuracy. It's common knowledge that best performing athletes use visualization to mentally practice what's going on and they achieve. So for instance, if I was a basketball player, I would visually, when I step up to the free throw line, right, and I'm gonna shoot that ball, in my mind, I'm already visualizing the trajectory or the way the ball goes into the air and the way it comes down through the hoop. And I'm motivated through this visualization process. Right? Let's look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, he's missed more than 9,000 shots in his career, missed. Right? He's lost more than 300 games. 26 times he's been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. Okay? I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. None of us would dispute that Michael Jordan is a success story. He's an amazing athlete. And what he's saying is that look at all these numbers and you think, wow, you did all that failing. However, in order to succeed, we will fail. There will be failures along your pathway. And so we shouldn't either drop our goals because we fail the first time something happens, right? Or we shouldn't abandon them because we think I can't do it, because it's expected. Our goal is to learn from the failures, to get better. That is the goal. Making good decisions. So it is important for us to make good decisions, right? Sometimes it's easy to let other people make decisions. When someone says, where do you want to go eat? What do you want to do? Oh, whatever you guys do is fine. Now, it's good to be accommodating or to be appreciative and let others kind of have a say-so. But we also have to be able to make some decisions, because no one can decide what career is best for you. No one can decide who you should marry or partner with, right? Those are your decisions, and they're important ones. Excuse me. So kind of here's the process to go through to start making these good decisions. I won't read through all of them. I want you to kind of take some time with that and to look through this process of making good decisions. So what is a growth mindset? What does that mean? When you have a growth mindset, we say that you believe that you can improve and further develop your skills. So again, this is the example I gave you earlier of when I used to interview people and they would come in for a job and they would have a growth mindset because they would admit, I don't know how to work your software. I don't know how to do this part of your job, but I'm willing to learn and I believe I can do it, right? So they had this growth mindset that wanted to grow. Versus sometimes we meet people that don't like to be told what to do. Even from their superiors, they just don't like that. And that's not a growth mindset. They tend to think they know everything. And none of us do. I am continually learning, right? So we should have this open mindset, right? We assume personal responsibility for our successes. In other words, we're not always like, when you achieve something, you're not always saying, oh, well, it was just luck. I was just lucky. No, not really. You did something good here. Acknowledge that. You need to acknowledge that, right? Take personal responsibility when things don't go our way, when there's setbacks, rather than blame other people. Ooh, have you ever met those people that every time you talk to them, they have an excuse for why things aren't going good? It's my teacher's fault. It's my mom's fault. It's my girlfriend's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. They don't take personal responsibility, and that is something we should all do, right? Again, as an employer, I'm not interested in employees are going to point the finger at others. I'm interested in you taking responsibility and accountability, right? And so do that. That really helps you with this growth mindset, right? All right, so we can kind of see here with the growth mindset, you take personal responsibility, you examine the behaviors that led to failure. So when you do have a failure, which again, a failure is just a stepping stone up to you achieving your goals. When we have that challenge or barrier that happens, sets us back, we need to figure out what happened. What did I do? What better choice could I make next time? Identify what you could do differently, definitely, and apply that the next time we have a situation. When you fail, you take steps to improve. So we first admit that we made a mistake or failed, and then we look at how can I do better. All right, so let's see, active learning strategies. So what is active learning? So active learning is teaching methods and strategies that involve student participation and engagement. So in other words, I like to think of active learning as you, the student, say, yes, I'm in an online class here with Professor Westland. She's not here to interact with me personally, but I can take this active learning by really, again, watching all the videos, by going through the PowerPoints a couple times, by, reaching out and posting questions in the student forum, the student discussion, by emailing my instructor to ask for clarification about something. That's engaged learning. Instead of when you just kind of write things down on your study guide and memorize them for the test and then you kind of forget it all. right? So we like that. We like when, as instructors, we love it. And then I think you benefit from being an active learner. So talking about those of you who might be thinking about continuing on in college, whether it's to get a auto mechanic certificate, or whether it's to transfer to a four-year college, or whether it's just to enrich yourself with some classes that you're interested in, whatever the case may be. These are the things that you kind of want to do on this road to being successful. Manage your time and choose how to spend it. We'll talk more about time management down the road. Figure out what to learn and how to learn it. So this is a big one, because students are really stumped with, what do I major in college? And so you got to figure that out. But a big way to figure that out is to learn more about you. And that's why, again, I think that those identity activities that we do help you to learn more about yourself. And hopefully this whole semester you'll learn more about yourself. Set your priorities, select and complete your classes, majors, minors, and then track your progress. See where how you're doing, and you reach out to your academic counselors. You reach out to your instructors. You go to the writing center for some help with writing. These are the things you do to be successful in college. So what is metacognition? So when we do cognitive thinking, it's really referring to your mind and your brain. So metacognition is thinking about thinking, or thinking about learning. So it's kind of what I think of as a lot of reflection, right? Remember, we do weekly reflections. And so this metacognition, you use this to improve your performance by planning and organizing. So if you reflect and you think, man, this week was hard. I didn't get my assignments in by the date they were due, so therefore it's late. I'm going to lose some points for it being late. I struggled with some time management, with planning how much time it would take me to write the assignment, right? I didn't monitor my progress. I didn't evaluate the results. And so when we reflect, or we spend time thinking about learning, we understand more about ourselves. We're going to learn more about if you're a visual learner, an auditory learner, or a kinesthetic learner. So we're going to learn more about what kind of learner you are. And once you know that, then it can help you to focus your time and energy better once you know that about yourself. So that's kind of to come. So this growth in higher education, this cognitive growth, right? Effects of college. What we know, these are good facts. So what we know is that when you first come to college, we all enter with like, I think I know what I believe. I believe in black and white. I believe that things are clear cut because this is my value system. However, what happens is, as we start coming into classes, especially some of this class will have a couple case studies. And then in my other classes, I do a lot more case studies. And we examine situations and we think, wow, I really believed this before I read the case study. And now that I read the study and I'm listening to other students and their perspective, I'm starting to think that there's more gray, and it's not so clear cut black and white. And that's what I want. I want you to be challenged. I want your brain to grow and for you to explore other options, that our way is not always just the right way, right? Every year in college improves our cognitive abilities. It improves your mind, even if you don't achieve a degree, just taking classes. Right? Most students attend college primarily to basically make money. Yes, it's a great reason to go to school. Make money. We all want a financial future, right? I came from poverty. And so I know what it's like to be hungry and poor, and didn't like it, to be honest. It really sucked. Really, let's be honest here. Nobody raises their hand and says, poverty's awesome, it rocks. No, it doesn't, because poverty closes a lot of doors for us. We don't have opportunities others do. And so I knew, my parents showed me how to climb out of that poverty, and I knew I wanted my kids to not have to deal with what I dealt with, right? So I wanted to secure a financial future, right? And so that's what college can do for us. What we know is that if you go to college, we see that people have better health, right? And the reason is typically because if you have a degree, you make more money, which gives you a job that has better benefits, health benefits, than Medi-Cal, right? Or having no insurance. College graduates are healthier and wealthier. So again, some motivating factors to possibly stay in it. So looking again at research, suggests that when you take responsibility for completing your assignments and believe in your ability to complete them, you'll get the best results. So again, lose the blame game. Don't blame it on, I couldn't find a quiet place to study. I couldn't start my paper. I didn't know how to start it, so I just didn't do it. All of those are excuses. And we see here from research that if you just take responsibility and say, man, I don't know how to even do this. Let me go to the writing center. Let me reach out to someone. Then you can start to move forward. Apply motivational strategies on the job. So you're going to see here that there's a lot of things we do in school to stay motivated that can help you in your jobs. Because again, I loved it when employees would come to me and say, can you teach me how to do that? I want to learn more. I want more responsibility. When they were motivated to move up the ladder, I want to work with those people. Personal responsibility at work, making good choices, right? So definitely your choices at work are important. They're going to help you either maybe stay where you are or grow if you want that career and success, right? Employees with more independence. Do you like it when your boss isn't looking over your shoulder all the time? Did you do that right? Did you make sure to do that? Where's that report? They're always on you because they don't trust you can get it done. Wouldn't it be better if your boss trusted you because you've shown them that you can have what you need to get done on time and in a good manner, right? And so take responsibility for that work and for those challenges, right? We're going to talk more about how to connect what we learn at school with college. So that was just, again, a brief overview. I try to keep my videos short for you, but please look into the different videos we had on the slides here, and then obviously your reflection for this week, and then our motivation case study that we're doing this week. All right, we'll see you then for module number 5.